from your perspective, now you've seen both these quarterbacks, how did you feel Greg played comparatively to the previous games that he had played this season?
I mean, he did well. He's a true freshman. I know it's tough. I know my true freshman year, me personally, I couldn't have played, so I give him props for going out there and playing hard, and he made a lot of good plays, so he did all right.
What do you tell a younger player like that when he has to carry a lot of that load after the game? Coach Bleedy mentioned that he has this swagger and this sort of undying confidence about him, but he's a freshman. You don't know what that really stems from. What do you tell a kid like that?
I mean, he's got to keep his head up. He talk more about the positive plays, and there's nothing we could do about it now. So maybe we just got to move forward and try to get the next one. If we got to, if he's our quarterback next game, we got to go out and he's got to make big plays again. Can't think about the old ones.
How do you feel the offense changed or the play calling changed at all? Did you guys air it out a little bit more against first?
Yeah, we did. I don't know if that was calling or just Greg, taking shots downfield, but yeah, we did a little bit.
Have you guys been able to break down the UAB tape thus far?
Start today. I'm sure coaches have.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then going back to the Rice game, what were some of the, Coach Wright always likes to break down the misplays, the missed assignments, misreads. How many of those? Was it more than the 9? I believe you guys had against Middle Tennessee.
I mean, he didn't take it too hard on us. He knew we were hurting. That was a tough game to lose. And yeah, we had a lot of misplays, a lot of drops, a couple missed blocks here and there, but we'll bounce back. Those receivers make those catches, and we'll be all right.
What's it like to be in that game? Spend that final 5 minutes and just watching the thing kind of fall apart.
It's pretty unreal. Never, but it's part of the game. Anything could happen anytime. You never know. That's why you got to keep playing hard. And you never know what to expect.
Did you start in those final 5? Were you pressing in the huddle, or did you notice something different? Or
no, not really. Just no.
Were you surprised by it?
Yeah, a little bit, but yeah, it's this game. It could go any way. It could happen, the other way around, and we wouldn't be so surprised, and you just never know.
Seemed like you guys were utilizing the tight end position. I think you had all 3 out there a couple times.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's something you guys have built up to.
Yeah.
But what have you guys been doing in practice that convinced Wright to get all 3 of you guys in the game at the same time?
Yeah, we got a lot of, obviously for the run plays, for our blocking, and then we have a lot of, just like even a lot of those little short passes we throw, we got a lot of blocking on the perimeter that he likes to have a bigger body out there for. And I'm all for it. If we had 3 tight ends out there all times, that's what we shoot for. So.
Is that the first time Nixon had been in the backfield? Usually it's Alex back there in that H-back spot. Is that the first time?
Yeah, we switch it up. I mean, in practice we rotate through all of them so anybody can go anywhere and's ready to. But yeah, that was the first time. He got quite a few reps in the backfield.
Do you prefer being off tackle in the slot? Where do you like to be?
Yeah, either off tackle or in the slot, but it don't really matter.
How much of a change has it been to have to sort of learn those backfield positions and be a fullback in many senses? That's
yeah.
I know it's something that tight ends are asked to do more and more nowadays with spread offenses, but I don't recall, at least from the 3 or 4 Northern Iowa games I've ever watched, I don't recall you guys doing that all that often.
No, it was tough to get used to, but it's I enjoy being a bigger part of the offense. A lot of motions, and I mean being in the backfield leading up for Wallace or whoever it is. It's fun. So.
Will there be more pass catching opportunities out of that backfield tight end position going forward? Is that something you guys feel like you're building towards?
Yeah, I hope so. Definitely with a lot of the two tight end sets, and we're putting some stuff in. So.
After that game, knowing that again you guys had played a strong defensive game and came out on the wrong end of it.
Well, the same mood that after any other loss, just hurt, disappointed, wondering what we could have did different. It wasn't about the defense playing well, the offense playing well. It was a team thing. We were just as hurt about this loss as we were about Miami. Just hurt, wondering what we could have did more to help us come out on top.
When it comes to a game like this. I mentioned it to Coach Bliga. I wasn't sure if you were in the room. Last year he mentioned it was about getting to a point of competitiveness and being able to play tight in games like that. And now the next juncture is obviously winning games like that.
Right.
As players, do you guys feel, I'm asking you to kind of speak for everybody here, but do you feel like you're on the precipice of getting to that point where you're going to win more of those tightly fought games than you're going to lose?
I believe so. You know, I believe compared to last year, we're light years ahead of where we were last year. And, you know, like you said, last year it was about, you know, of course we wanted to win, but we didn't know how to win. And, you know, that's something that we're still learning how to do. I think, you know, throughout the course of the game, just making one play instead of two plays, making two plays instead of one play, you know, that could be the difference between us winning and losing. You know, it's just certain plays here and there that, you know, add up to the end of the game and us not coming out on top. But I believe that we're becoming a way better team, and we're starting to make those plays and make it easier for us to come out on top.
Is it a tough pill to swallow, though, knowing that you guys are close and that that's clearly a checkpoint or a landmark for this team?
It is.
Can't get over that hump.
It is. It's definitely tough because, you know, last week against Mid-10, it was so close. It was right there. And then this week it was even closer. So it's like, you know, when is it going to happen? But we just have to just keep playing, you know, keep coming to work every day like we do. Just keep going out with the same attitude and just keep playing. And, you know, it'll come to us when it's going to come.
How have you seen that? Has that attitude evolved at all? Coach Blaney consistently mentions how proud he is of the temperament and the demeanor of the team, even after some really hard losses. How are you guys able to stay so level throughout that?
Just the desire and the will to win. You know, any competitor isn't going to get discouraged by getting knocked down. You know what I'm saying? That's a part of the game. That's what you play the game for. You have to go through tough stuff to, you know, really, you know, appreciate the good stuff in the end. You know, and this is, you know, we're going through our tough spots. And, you know, it's going to turn around for us. And, you know, when it does, we'll be able to appreciate it that much more.
As a team, you guys go on the road to USF, you get the win. Then you suffer the real close loss to Middle Tennessee State with Jack West Johnson starting. Then this last week, you get another real close loss and Hankerson starting. Now, you can't deny, here we are in the 6th week, you've got two different quarterbacks. Still not sure which one. Who do you feel is the leader of this team? Because somebody has to take a stand.
Both of them, I think, bring qualities of a good leader. You know, both of them bring different stuff to the table. To me, as long as we're winning, either one of them can be behind center. You know, as long as we're winning and as long as, you know, that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, both of them are great quarterbacks. You know, Quez brings different stuff that Greg brings different stuff. You know, as long as we're winning, you know, I'm all for it. I mean, if both of them are doing good and we're winning, I'm all for keeping both of them in the game.
Is the UAB game kind of make or break point of the season at this point? Do you have to win this game?
You know, I don't feel like it's make or break, but at the end of the day, I feel like you should go into every game with the mentality that you have to win. I believe that, you know, we have to win. I believe last week that we had to win. I don't think this is a make or break game for us, though.
Clearly the goal was to make a bowl game
Right.
at the beginning of the season. That would have been a landmark for this team. Knowing now that you have to win 5 of the last 7 games, but also knowing that perhaps maybe pressing and trying to do too much late in games has led you to this point, is it difficult to try to keep it simple going forward?
I don't believe so because, you know, within the last 2 weeks, it was 1 or 2 plays that it could have went our way. I don't believe that we should press. I believe that we should keep doing what we have been doing because one made play in Mid-Tennessee, the outcome is completely different. The same thing for Rice. One made play, the outcome is completely different. You know, I believe that we should just keep doing what we're doing. I don't believe that we should press. I believe that our game plans have been good. Our personnel is good. We have a good team. You know, just certain plays didn't bounce our way. So I don't believe that we should press for anything. I believe that we should just keep doing what we have been doing, keep coming to work every week, and just keep going out there with the same mentality that we've been going out with.
How has the defense evolved from last year to this year? Because it's night and day sometimes.
You know, last year, I still believe that the coaches were still trying to find what worked for us. Now they have found what works for us, and, you know, they instill effort with us. And I think the effort is way better than it was last year because now we understand what we're doing a lot more. So when you understand what you're doing, you can play way faster. And I think that's been something that's helped us a lot this year, is that we're understanding why we're doing what we're doing, not just the what, but why. And once you understand that, the sky's the limit from there. And I think we just go out there and just play fast, and that's really just been the difference.
With the performance of the defensive backs thus far this season being really good, especially with DJ and Reese on the outside,
Right.
have you sensed or have you been told that they're putting more pressure defensively on those guys to sort of work by themselves and maybe committing, maybe being a little bit more aggressive with their stuff because they feel comfortable with that outside coverage, or has it been the same throughout?
It's been the same throughout. Like I said, we don't, we have an identity as to who we are as a defense, and we don't change anything because of one particular player is doing well, or change anything because one particular player is doing bad. Our coaches believe in our scheme and believe in the players that we have that are doing what they ask to do. So we just we do the same thing week in and week out.
It's a tough DB scheme though. That was
Yeah.
I mean, it might be one of the more complicated.
It is.
Schemes
It is, but we have we have a lot of players that are capable of doing that, of doing what they have been doing. Just as well as DJ, that could be Crayvon doing that, or that could be me, doing that. That could be Reese. We have a lot of a lot of players that can do that. So that's just that's just something that we're used to. We're used to being in complicated situations. That's the pressure that that we as a DB committee put ourselves under. That's the standard that we hold ourselves to.
When do you guys think, as a DB committee, you figured that out and sort of had that scheme down pat to where you could execute it, sort of back in your mind, not having to think about?
I believe in the spring we got a good grasp of it. We got a good grasp of how good we could be. The fact that we have a lot of people that can roll at any time makes it good. I feel like during camp, the competitive spirit between all of us it brought us to a point where we just realized that we are a good set of defensive backs, and we can be great if we just keep playing. And that's just at one day we just sat down and we just told ourselves we have to hold ourselves to a higher standard than anybody else on the team. We have to be more competitive than anybody. We have to work harder than anybody. We just have to have that standard for us, and that's the only way that we'll be successful.
What was it like for you to go through those final minutes of the game?
I couldn't really believe what was going on. Seeing things, seeing the game in our hands and then kind of just watching it just kind of drop out of your hands. I couldn't really fathom what was going on, but at the end of the day, you can't really be stuck on something happening because in football, anything can happen, so you just got to go out and play the next play. After one thing happened, you just got to go out and respond. And, that's all you can really do is just, football is about responding. So.
What have you done to bring on as much playing time as you've received thus far this year?
Just competing, just competing. Day in and day out, just playing hard, being accountable, being somebody that the coaches can trust. Like I said, we have a lot of guys that can roll at any time in our secondary. And, I feel like, just if the ball is rolling well, keep it rolling,
What has, knowing that Crayvon was kind of, they really, really liked Crayvon when they recruited him.
Right.
And I'm sure they made it pretty evident that
Right.
they really, really liked what Crayvon could do. When he goes out and you get the opportunity to step in that position, did you know that was that was the opportunity that you had to make or break your legacy or whatever it might be here at FAU?
Not necessarily. I'm the type of player that I'm a big time team player, and I'm all about whatever is great for the team. If it's me being in, it's me being in. If it's Crayvon, it's Crayvon. If it's Josh Orsino, it's Orsino. I'm all about the team. When I was asked to take upon that responsibility, I'm like, just let's go, let's do it. So.
Is Lester Thomas working with just safeties now?
Yeah.
What did you see out of him? He kind of came out of nowhere and got some major playing time. What did
He-
coaches like about him so much?
just his aggressiveness. He's a smart guy to be so young. He understands the game, which kind of surprised me, how well he understood the game to be so young. And he plays 100 miles per hour and everything. He's not a guy that takes a play off because he knows, just as fast as he got in there, he can get taken out just as fast. So he goes 100 miles per hour at all times. He's just a really smart player to be so young.
What do you see? How does that smartness show itself on the field? What was there some moment where you saw and you just like, man, that guy looks way older than he should be?
Just in camp, just some of the plays that he made because he was playing nickel in the beginning, and just some of the plays that he made at nickel. Nickel is one of our hardest positions on our defense, and for him to grasp that concept as fast as he did, I knew then he was going to be a good player. And him moving to safety, helped him out a lot more.
Does it simplify it a little bit for him at safety comparatively to nickel?
Yes, it does, definitely. And for him to get the concept that he did at nickel so fast, safety, wasn't a problem for him.